Many Bleach fans have stumbled upon this old theme, and the common consensus is that it is a great fit for Yhwach. I have mentioned this before and many have disagreed, so I thought I'd finally explain why Fate from Evangelion is the perfect theme for Yhwach. First of all, it was made by Shiro Sagisu. Shiro is the genius behind Bleach's music as well, which is why Fate feels very much so like a Bleach theme. The lyrics fit well with Yhwach, and the instrumentals and sounds do well to represent him and the Thousand Year Blood War as a whole. I will discuss the lyrics first, followed by the orchestra. The lyrics deliver a chill down your spine, especially once you understand the words, like most of Shiro Sagisu's works. At first you may think it is a separate language, but it is in fact English. They add on to the atmosphere of the theme and represent Yhwach surprisingly well. When viewed as if the lyrics were an inner monologue of Yhwach, it actually fits very well. Here are the lyrics. The first line says, "What will the future hold?" which is perfect for Yhwach's ability, the Almighty. What will the future hold is probably what he'd think to himself many times throughout this war, especially when using the Almighty. The next lines are, "How will I be rewarded? Have I the right to riches in a world where there are no prizes?" These three lines don't have direct similarities like the others. If looked at from Yhwach's perspective, you can say that this is him contemplating the end result of the war. After defeating the Soul Reapers and finally ending his father's stasis of life and death, did he really win? When there's nothing to really win in this world, will the world really change for the better? He wants to set his father free, but he will also lose the current world as its cost, the world that his father gave his life for. Perhaps his father would have wanted the world like how it is right now, and maybe the world truly is better off that way. Regardless, he will go through despite never finding all this out. The next line is, "Who makes the clock tick by?" The Soul King is the one who makes the clock tick by, and Yhwach knows that. Who makes the clock tick by could represent who rules this world, who holds this world together. Once Yhwach absorbed the Soul King's powers, it was now Yhwach who made the clock tick by as the supreme ruler. Maybe this is a reminder of Yhwach's objective, of relieving the Soul King of his duty and becoming the ruler in his place. When will my fate be ready? Do I get prior warning? Am I told? Are there no surprises? These three lines aren't a direct fit either, but they still work. What is Yhwach's final fate? Death? Defeat? Victory? Perhaps something worse? Would he get any clear warnings? Any surprises? You can refer this to Yhwach scoping out the future with the Almighty to figure out and change his fate. He is looking at whether things will go according to plan, or if there will be surprises like Ichigo and Uryu. Finally, the next part fits surprisingly well for Yhwach. I have to count my blessings, I have to learn my lessons, my fate is in the balance, I must go on believing. These four lines can be perceived as Yhwach's path to victory. I have to count my blessings, which could symbolize Yhwach's shrifts, which he bestowed to his fellow Quincy. The blessings would be the actual shrifts, or even the Stern Ritter members. Using his Stern Ritter to the best of their ability is paramount in winning this war. I have to learn my lessons would stand for Yhwach using the Almighty to learn as much as he can to survive and win this war. My fate is in the balance. Yhwach's fate rests upon the balance. This could represent the fate of the world, now resting upon Yhwach's hands, or the shrift of his most trusted man, Jugrum Hoshwald, the user of the shrift, the balance. Jugrum also takes over Yhwach's power when Yhwach sleeps, making him just as important as Yhwach. This is why the balance is of the utmost importance to Yhwach's fate. I must go on believing. Yhwach must believe in his cause, his self, no matter what others think. He knows the truth and he knows what the righteous path is for him. He knows the dark past of the Soul Society and the betrayal of the Soul King. Despair is only a tool to bring upon to others, a weapon to cripple his enemies, and it has no space in his mind. In a way, I must go on believing is a theme that is used throughout Bleach, as Ichigo has struggled to do just that. Again, all of this is what Yhwach will do in an attempt to win this war for his kind. If looked at like that, it seems like this is something Yhwach would repeat to himself, reminding himself of what needs to be done. Imagine how badass that would be, with Yhwach chanting this verse in his mind whenever he comes across hardships. With the lyrics now covered, I will now go through the orchestra. The theme has snare drums beating throughout it. The snare drum has always been used to march in the military, giving it the kind of meaning that the Quincy's are on the verge of war. This fits very well with the Thousand Year Blood War. That said, the snare isn't the only drum. There is also another one in the background, hidden in the shadows, the bass or the tom-tom drum. That's not as audible, but nevertheless they are orchestrating in the background, just like the Quincy, hiding in the shadows where you least expect. Along with the drums, the cymbals ring thunderously, representing the brutal clashes of the Thousand Year Blood War. Accompanying all of this are the strings, giving a regal and majestic feel to it, well fitting of Yhwach's godly lineage. Finally, the triumphant trumpets blow, showing the sheer importance of this war. Trumpets have always been used when an important figure like a leader enters. The sounds start with a low pitch and slowly become louder, similar to the dire and dangerous circumstances we see in the Thousand Year Blood War. You can also say it represents Yhwach and his overwhelming power, getting stronger just like the trumpets. The glory and peaks of war, the epic highs and adrenaline of battle all fit well with the climax of this theme that is amplified with the instruments and the lyrics. All of this combined gives sort of an imperial sort of sound, as if a proud nation was marching into war. This theme doesn't make Yhwach seem like the bad guy, which, despite what the majority of people think, is absolutely right. The argument people have against this being a good theme for Yhwach is that it should be more menacing, and I'd have to disagree with that. If you read Can't Fear Your Own World, you would know that his goals were not that evil, especially compared to Tokunara, who really deserves a menacing theme. Yhwach's goal was understandable when you take in that he wanted to save his father from an eternity of suffering. I'll be making a Yhwach video soon. I feel once Yhwach absorbs the Soul King, a darker theme would be more fitting. But I feel Fate would be the best for him in every other situation. I have seen a few people remake Nothing Can Be Explained into a more darker version, and I think that would fit very well for that situation, especially when Yhwach absorbs the Soul King. Ultimately, Yhwach has his vision on the world, and it is very questionable, but he isn't inherently evil, and I feel the theme Fate portrays that well. It really gives off the vibe as if he's the final weapon, the last and greatest hope for the Quincy race. No other theme, in my opinion, better represents the triumphant last march in the holy war that lasted a millennium.
平和への礎となるがよい。